Hello my friends and welcome to another video. This, as you can tell, will be my video for my December reads, or what I plan to read in December, my December TBR, whatever you would like to call it. But before I get into it, let me go ahead and mention what I did and did not read off of my TBR for the month of November. So as you can kind of maybe tell by that, I did not read everything, so I do not get to reward myself, which is okay, and especially where we're now going into December. My mom likes to create what we jokingly call a birthday Christmas wish list, since my birthday is in December. So I've told her enough things, I can't remember everything I've told her. And so it's good that I'm not rewarding myself for November, and I will not do that. I may, if I reach my goals for December, I may, because then I will know after Christmas, once my birthday and Christmas is past, what I can reward myself with. So I'm not going to say what the reward is, because I have no idea at this point what I will be getting, and so what I can plan as a reward for myself. So I'm just going to leave it up in the air, and I'll tell you in the next TBR if I get a reward, and if so, what it will be. So we'll go from there. So these were the books on my TBR. We have The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien, The Truth About Forever by Sarah Dessen, The Chill by Scott Carson, A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, How the Penguins Saved Veronica by Hazel Pryor, The Goose Girl, The Book of Bayron by Shannon? Yes, Shannon Hale. Falling for You, A Bradford Sisters Romance by Becky Wade, All We Ever Wanted Was Everything by Janelle Brown, and then Wonder Woman, Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. I read 3 books, and that would be The Fellowship of the Ring, The Truth About Forever, and The Chill. I am currently in A Deadly Education. I am about halfway. I do plan on finishing it this month. I have today and tomorrow to read. Should not be a problem, so I'm planning on finishing that. But that is 5 books I did not get to or read. However, there is an additional book I did read. So the one book that was on my TBR that was not on my TBR that I did read was Pig the Slob by Erin Blabby. This is a children's book about a pig that is a slob. He doesn't bathe, he overeats, he drops crumbs everywhere and doesn't clean up after himself, and he's not afraid to fart. There are images of him farting in here, a little green cloud of stench. So, and it just kind of follows Pig the Pug as he kind of learns a life lesson not to be maybe so much of a slob. So he has a friend in here that's I call them wiener dogs, but I'm not sure the exact term. Let me see if I can. So there's several other books in this. It's not really a series. You can read them in any order. Here's his friend. Or housemate or whatever. His name is Trevor. So, and I have read all of the books so far. This is my mom's copy, so I've borrowed it and read it. Very cute. It's just, if you're looking for kind of a funny little chuckle that's very sweet and cute, this is definitely one to check out. Now before I get into what I will be reading for the month of December, or picking my TBR, there is one book I do need to mention because I will be doing a buddy read. This is my very first buddy read with YouTube, and I will be doing the buddy read with a group of people, but it is being hosted by, the read along is being hosted by Scott and Becky from the Bookish Bryants. I will have their channel listed in the description box. But the book that we will be reading for the buddy read is Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. This is a translation by Edith Grossman, and it has an introduction by Harold Bloom. So as you can see, I already have some tabs in here, and this is just dividing the book up by Scott and Becky divided it up by weeks, which we have here for the month of December. I went even further and divided those weeks by sections, so I know how much per day to read, so that this is done by the end of the month. If I fall behind, understandable, that's fine. They tend to be about 20 to 30 pages depending on the week, which is per day, which is definitely doable. But then depending on what I get for my December TBR, that may become a little much. We will see. But I do have the 7 days there, and so I'll just pull the tab out as I complete it. And hopefully this will motivate me to maybe read ahead a little bit so I can get it done. But I am so excited about this. I wanted to read this for so long, mostly because of some of the adaptations I've seen, like with Disney, and I can't remember what character they had that played Don Quixote, but I remember him attacking a windmill because he was thinking it was a giant. Now, I don't know if that was for theatrical elements or if that is true to the book. But that's all I remember. I mean, there's not much they can do in a little 20-minute segment. So, and that's a big book. So, there are, let me see, 940 pages to get through. So, there is that. So, the first book I would like to figure out is the nonfiction book that I will be reading for the month of December. So to do that, I'm going to do a random coin flip on my phone, and we'll see what comes up. So I'm just going to get things pulled up here. Okay, so as you can see by what is showing right now, it is on heads. So I'm going to flip the coin. A head will be a nonfiction that I read that is about mainly one person, so it could be a biography, a memoir. Obviously, they can talk about pretty much anything in there, their life growing up, their family, their religion, any groups they were involved in, anything like that. But it's mostly about their life experience. So that will be if it is a head. If the coin turns to a tail or to tails, it will be pretty much anything else. It can be self-help, which are not my favorite, but it can be like a how-to. It can be anything about a group of people, a war, a religious group, pretty much anything else. So let's see what my nonfiction read will be. Heads. This is perfect. I have so with that, I will be reading on my Kindle a book that I've wanted to read for a while, and that is Becoming by Michalopoulou. So this just follows her life before in the White House, I think some snippets of her life during, and then after. So I am looking forward to it. I think that will be a fantastic read. And I've had my eye on that for months, but I just haven't been able to get around to it. So now I will. So the next thing I will figure out will be the 2 audiobooks. Now you will see some green. Again, the green does not mean anything. I just ran out of the white paper, so that's it. But no special meaning. So I'm going to draw 2 audiobooks. These are audiobooks I have accumulated on my phone in the Audible app. So I definitely should be able to get through 2 audiobooks in a month just to read on my days off, or listen to on my days off, or when I'm doing arts and crafts and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and find out what I will be listening to. Okay. I think there's 2 here, so let's... Yep, there is. There we go. Okay, number 1. So the first audiobook, The Home Front, Life in America During World War II by Dan Geidman. So that will be the first book to listen to. What intrigued me to look into this book more when I found it on Audible was because I have my paternal grandpa was in the Army Reserve, and went, I don't know much, I need to ask him more of it, but I know that he was involved with something in World War II. He will, when he passes away, he said it's already arranged and everything where he will be, right now he lives in Farmington, New Mexico, so his body will be transported to Utah and be buried in the military cemetery. I can't remember where it is, but anyway, that's where he's going to be. He says he's going to be buried. So, yeah. And one of his wishes is that people will visit his grave. Family will visit his grave. And it is really close to me, like less than an hour's drive for this cemetery. So I will definitely be able to visit his grave and maybe talk to him a little bit while he's buried there. The second reason why this one kind of intrigued me is because my great uncle was a pilot in World War II. I don't know if he was a fighter pilot or what kind of pilot, but he was a pilot. And I recall from what's been told to me is that his plane was shot down. He survived. He was taken as a prisoner of war by the German Nazis, and he was on a train with a bunch of other people that were now considered prisoners of war, and they were being taken to a concentration camp. But then all of a sudden the train stopped and they saw all the Nazis or the German soldiers just flee and run away and abandoned the train. And they sat on that train for a long time. They didn't dare get off because they didn't know if it was rigged, if there were going to be snipers hiding out somewhere that were going to start shooting at them once they tried to get off. So they just stayed in that train in there. And then all of a sudden, I don't know how much longer they waited, but that suddenly they could see a line of people approaching. And so with that, they were concerned because they didn't know if it was friend or foe. And as the people that were approaching got closer, they could see it was friend. It was, and so thankfully he never made it to the concentration camp and was not a prisoner of war for very long, but definitely enough that he had some major stress there. Time to pick the second audiobook. They get stuck together, so I'm trying to see. Okay, this is just one. So the second audiobook is Girl Last Seen by Nina Lauren. So Girl Last Seen is a contemporary thriller, mystery, suspense, paranormal book. So this book follows it sounds like probably two timelines, past and present. This, I can tell from reading the synopsis, there's going to be a trigger warning for abducted children. So beware of that going into it. So this follows, I don't know the main character. I don't know the main character's name, but she was abducted when she was a child, which was 13 years ago. And now present day, there is a child named Olivia that was adopted that could be her mirror image from when she was a child. So basically this new abducted child, Olivia, looks like the main character did when she was little. The kidnapper from the main character's time has never been caught, and other kids obviously have gone missing, and so she's kind of been watching the missing children's cases and stuff, and now there's this kid that's gone missing that looks like her as a child. So we're just going to follow that and see what happens. The next book to determine will be to decide what book I will be reading from an author that is from a country that my ancestors are from. So I've got all my ancestry countries that I know about in here. So let's pick a location. Try and mix it up. Okay. Greece. I'm going to have to research this one a little bit because I don't think I own any books by an author from Greece. But let's see. I found a book by Anna. I had to look up the pronunciation and I'm probably still going to say it wrong. And it's not Anna, it's Amanda. Amanda Michalopoulou. Probably said that wrong. It is translated by, I wrote it down, Karen Emmerich, and it is Why I Killed My Best Friend. So I'm going to pull it up in Goodreads. I'm just going to read the synopsis of it. It's a contemporary 21st century women's literature, and it sounds interesting. So let me go ahead and read the description. Let's see. A young girl named Maria is lifted from her beloved Africa and relocated to her native Greece. She struggles with the transition, hating everything about Athens: the food, the air, the school, her classmates, the language. Just as she resigns herself to misery, Anna arrives. That's where I got Anna. Though Anna's refined Parisian upbringing is the exact opposite of Maria's, the two girls instantly bond over their common foreignness, becoming inseparable in their relationship as each other's best friend, but also as each other's fiercest competition, be it in relation to boys, talents, future aspirations, or political beliefs. From Maria and Anna's grade school days in 70s, post-dictatorship Greece, to their adult lives in the present. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Michalopoulou, the author, charts the ups, downs, and fallings out of the powerful self-destructive bond only true best friends can have. So there you go. There's that. The author, let me pull it up. She's from Greece. I want to say Athens. Okay, so here's the author, and she is from Athens, Greece. So that will definitely fulfill that prompt. And I am excited to maybe get some hints of Greek culture. Okay, so now it is time to determine how many number of books will be in my main TBR. So I'm doing a screen record, and I have the random numbers generator, as well as the other ones I'm going to pull up. So let's go ahead and go to the random number generator. I already have the numbers 1 through 10. I am going to change the minimum to 3 books. So I want to generate a number between 3 and 10. One of those numbers will be what I read for the month of December. So let's find out how many books will be my goal. 8. Yay. So now I'm going to change the number back to 1 and leave it between 1 and 10. And now I'm going to pull up all the other generators. So I have the random number, the random letter generator, which will be the first letter of the title of the book, random word generator, random color, random picture, and then I have random letter again, which would be the first letter of the author's name, first, middle, or last, and then random number generator. If that comes up, I'll change it to how many books I have on my TBR shelf, and just pick a number for whatever number that generated. So I need to read 8 books, so let's figure out the first prompt. Okay. 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, random word generator. So it's already on toll. So let's figure out what this word will generate. Europe. So a book that takes place in Europe that has Europe in the title. Let me see what I've got. So for a book that I decided to go with a book that, it's getting a little dark. Let me turn on my overhead light. That's better. Not so dark. So for this one, I'm actually really excited. I've been trying to work my way through a series and reread it. And the school is from what I've looked up, is in Scotland. But part of the book takes place in Britain, which is a part of Europe. So the first book that I will be, for my actual TBR, is going to be Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling. So, I don't think I really need to say what this is about. Most people know or have heard of Harry Potter. You have the chosen child. Parents are killed, so he's orphaned to live with his aunt and uncle and cousin who are horrible, and finds out he's a wizard, goes to a school, learns magic. All the while, there are forces at work to try and kill him. So there you go. Okay, let's see what the second prompt is. So I'm going to go back to number generator and let's see the next number. 4. So we ended on random word generator right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I need to figure out a number between 1 and however many books I have on my shelf. I've already taken 1 off, but I'm still going to include it, and then I'll just wrap right back around if it comes back with the highest number. So let me count those real quick. Okay, so I have 26 books on my top TBR shelf. So let's figure out what number I've got to count to. 20. 18, 19, 20. Oh, I'm excited for this. So the number was 20, and the 20th book on my main TBR shelf is The King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. I really enjoyed the Grishaverse. I enjoyed the Six of Crows duology. This follows Nikolai. Yes, Nikolai Landstov. And we're also introduced to Zoya Nazielensky. It says that she's devoted her life to honoring her deadly talents and rebuilding the Grisha army. So she has to help the weakened king, Nikolai, so that they can have a good place and have Ravka as a sanctuary. It also mentions Nina Zenik as well, so we might visit that a little bit. But I forgot to show you under the sleeve, or under the dust jacket. It is gorgeous. And I think I like the book without that on there better. Look at how pretty. Nothing on the back, but just gold. Just says Bardugo, King of Scars. So just kind of flame leafy things, and then just the front with the crows, and yeah, just stunning. But I will leave it in the cover to protect it for now. Anyway. Okay, so let's change the number back down to 10. And while I've already got this pulled up, let's figure out the next number to find the next prompt, which is prompt number 3. 4. So we landed on number generator. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, which is random picture generator. A house. But it looks like it's upside down. That's a little strange. okay, I'm just going to take it as a house. And I know I've got plenty of places that take place at home or something like that. So for this one, I'm going to go with a house on the cover. And that is The Vanishing by Wendy Webb. Oh, I'm excited to get to this. So this one we were following Julia. She gets a job offer to be a companion for an elderly lady. And it seems too good to be true. Turns out it might be too good to be true because strange things definitely start to happen. So it is a paranormal gothic. I'm really excited to get to this one. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, let's figure out the number to find prompt number 4. So here we go. 9. So we had the random picture generator, which is right here because that's the one with the house. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that's the random letter generator. This is the first random letter generator in this. So this will determine the first letter of the book to read. There we go. Generated an O, like Oscar. So for this, I'm going with the Oysterville Sewing Circle by Susan Wiggs. So this one you're following Carolyn. She left Oysterville with what she hoped was forever, so she didn't like the town that she grew up in. But she entered a world in fashion, and basically she lost her career due to some sort of a scandal. I don't know what that scandal is or if it will be mentioned in this, but she ends up going back to her childhood home in Oysterville. She realizes things are not what as she remembers. She gets a job in the sewing store, the craft store, the sewing store, and a sewing club or a sewing circle is born. And in this, women come together and they support each other. People have secrets, and it says, I like this, it says, where women can join forces to support each other through the troubles they keep hidden. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, let's move on to prompt number 5. So let's get the new number. 5 for prompt 5. Very fitting. Okay, so we were on random letter, right? Yes, because we got the O for the title in the book. So, moving on from that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so random number. Let's change the max number back to 26. Now this may change as I put more books on the shelf, because obviously the thicker or thinner the book, that'll change. So let's figure out what book number I've got to count to. 11. I'm getting some thick books for the month of December. So, very shiny. Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I have not read this. I know a couple years ago it was very hyped. So it's just got a moth on the cover. Don't know what that's supposed to mean. Yeah. Let me see if I can figure out what it's about, because I don't remember. I just know people absolutely loved it. So I was reading the synopsis on the flap, and it sounds a little complicated. So I'm just going to read it, and I haven't read all of it, like the first 2 lines, so the first paragraph. But let's find out what this is really about together. So it says, the dream chooses the dreamer, not the other way around. Here, I'll hold it up so you can see it just a little bit. And Laszlo Strange, war orphan and junior librarian, has always feared that his dream chose poorly. Since he was 5 years old, he's been obsessed with the mythic, I don't know, whatever. mythic lost city of Weep, but it would take someone bolder than he to cross half the world in search of it. Then a stunning opportunity presents itself in the person of a hero called the Godslayer and a band of legendary warriors, and he has to seize this chance or lose his dream forever. What happened in Weep 200 years ago to cut it off from the rest of the world? What exactly did the Godslayer slay that went by the name of God? And what is the mysterious problem he now seeks help in solving? The answers await in Weep, but so do more mysteries, including the blue-skinned goddess who appears in Laszlo's dreams. How did he dream her before he knew she existed? And if all the gods are dead, why does she seem so real? There we go. Okay. I've been wanting to get to this. It's like the other books. It's on the thicker side, so I'm just going to set this to the side right now so that we can move on to prompt 6. Okay, let's change that back to 10 and generate the one to find the next prompt. 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sheesh. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Random picture. Okay. Stones, rocks, pebbles. Might have to go with an image on the book, which that's definite possibility. So let me see what I've got. So for prompt number 6, which is the image of the stone, the pebbles, or the rocks. They're very smooth, so I think it's more pebbles and stones. I couldn't find on my bookcase and in the books in my nearest vicinity any book that had stones on the cover. I did find in my browsing or perusing a book with stone in the title, and this is a YA romance fantasy featuring dragons, and it's a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, I think. Yes. So that is Heartstone by L. Catherine White, and I like the little tag that says all's fair in love and dragonfire. So there's that. Let's see. It says passionate, headstrong Eliza knows that this is all too well, and she's already lost one sister to the invading Griffins. So when the people of Marybourne Manor scrape together the funds to hire a band of riders to hunt down the horde, Eliza is relieved. Her sister will soon be avenged. So avenging a sister, dragon riding, maybe? I don't know, but I'm intrigued. And this is the first in, so far, a trilogy. The third one was released in 2019. I don't know if there's going to be any more, but it's definitely at least a trilogy. So I look forward to reading that. I actually almost forgot that I had this one. Okay, we're almost finished. Let's figure out what prompt 7 will be. So we're on the random picture. Let's find out the next number. Number 2. So we're here on the random picture. So random letter generator is number 1, and number 2 is random number. Okay, so let's change the max back to 26 and find the next book on the shelf. Okay, so the magic number for this is 3. Ooh, it's a series continuation. The Roses of May by Dot Hutchinson. So I'm not sure what the second one is about. So the Roses of May by Dot Hutchinson. So this is the second. So this is the second in the series, which is called The Collector. The Collector, I don't really want to say because I do not want to spoil the first one. But I will say there is definite triggers from what I remember. It's been a while since I've read the first one, of kidnapping of adults and children, drug use, alcoholism, and sexual assault and rape of a child, murder of children. So, but I look forward to continuing to kind of see how things resolve. There are, let me see, I have it up here. There are, let's see, 4 books. The last one was published in 2019, May of 2019. This one was May of 2017. So, but this continues on with the collection series. Very dark and very hard-hitting. So, definitely not for everyone. So, I think I said that the author was Dot Hutchinson. It's actually Hutchison. There's no additional N in there. Okay, time to move on to the last prompt. So, where am I on here? Holy cow, come on. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to change the number back to number 10. And let's figure out what the next prompt will be. 2. So the last prompt is number 1, 2, random word generator. So we had Europe last time. Let's see what it is this time. Science. So something that has to do with science or has science in the title. I think I can work with that, but not positive. Maybe I can. Let me see what I've got. Okay. I don't have short books for this TBR. Just do what I can. But the one I'm going to go with is Delirium, and this is by Lauren Oliver. So the random word that was generated was science, and I'm saying that this fits because this is an alternate universe, and in the United States, yes, in the United States, and they've declared that love is dangerous. So there's been this scientific cure. It's also sci-fi, post-apocalyptic. It is YA, but of course, to find cures, you have to involve science for medicine and stuff like that. So, scientific cure for love. She has to go through this rebooting. Is that what is it called? I can't. Anyway, she's gonna wants a predictable life, wants to be cured of falling in love. It's just called a treatment. So, but then she evidently meets this boy that's been living under the government's radar, and where it's a romance, you might guess what might happen there. So that will be added to the TBR. And the last book for the last prompt added to the TBR. So I'm kind of curious. I am going to go count the number of pages of the physical books that I have. Because the ones on my Kindle I can just read at night. I'm not worried about those ones, and same thing with the audiobooks. And I'm keeping the group read or the buddy read separate. That's the one for Don Quixote. So I'm going to figure out the total number of pages and see that I've got to read for the month of December if I want to read all these other books on my TBR, and see if I can figure out how many pages a day that works out to. I think that'd be interesting. So I'm going to do a little figuring and some math and possibly some tabbing, some little tabs so I know where I'd have to get to each day. And I will be right back and we'll just wrap this up. Okay, so I did some figuring. Let me grab my paper. I'm sorry, it got cold. I had to put on a sweater and I did take a little break. My sugar dropped too low. So I just had some nuts and I'm feeling much better. So, okay, let's start off with my buddy read of Don Quixote with the Bookish Bryants with Becky and Scott. So this works out to be, again, between 20 to 30 pages per day, depending on the week section. So definitely doable. So, out of all those books there, for the 8 prompts, I have a total of 3,192 pages to read. 31 days in November. Not November, 31 days in December. So that works out to be around, it was like 102 point some odd number. I just rounded up to 103. So the goal is 103 pages to finish all of those books by December 31st. We will see. I do like the idea of having the tabs, so I think that will hopefully help me stay on track to know if I've gone behind or not, instead of just saying, oh, I have 8 books to read and read 1 book 1 week and then 2 the next or something like that. I think that'll kind of just help me a little bit more. I think I will enjoy that. And especially if there's a book that I'm struggling with, I'll know that I'm struggling, but like with Lord of the Rings, it took me over half a month to read until I figured out to listen to the audiobook in addition to reading along. So that's the plan for my December TBR. If you are so inclined, please subscribe if you haven't already. You can hit the notification bell and the like button if you're so inclined as well. Down in the description box, you will find my other social media information, from Instagram to Goodreads, and I even have a Discord, which I'm going to just, if you ever want to kind of buddy read, if you have one of the books, you can just keep an eye on that, and I'll put what book I'm starting and just kind of go from there. So you're more than welcome to read along if you would like. So that will be there as well. And I think that's it. This was a fairly lengthy process anyway. So until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.